All right, guys, we're gonna go over how to use this RV. First of all, this is your tongue jack. There's two buttons up here. There's one to raise and one to lower the jack, and then you have another one right here. This is just a light for if you're docking at night. You're right behind here, you have your propane tanks. All you do to access this is you just lift this off, and then inside of here is two propane tanks. There's an arrow that points towards one tank or the other, and that arrow just designates which tank you're using. If one tank runs out, you'll turn it off, turn on the other propane tank and switch that lever so it faces the new tank that's full. Behind here, hopefully you never need to get into it, but the battery box is located right there. Also, you have a battery disconnect switch. That's for if you're storing it at in a storage place or something like that. Right here is a large storage area. In here, you'll find your sewer hose, your water hose, your electrical cable, all that stuff goes in this compartment. It's a large pass-through. You can even access it from the other side as well. And as we come along, we have a large awning. Just remember with the awnings, if it's windy, rainy, stormy, anything like that at all, you wanna make sure this guy's closed. They cost about $1,900 to replace, and it doesn't matter if you break one arm off or you break both. It comes in a kit. It's pretty expensive. So just make sure you're conscious of that. When you're going to bed, close it. If you're going hiking for the day or something, make sure it's closed up and all that kind of stuff. Now we're gonna get into the stairs. Now to access the stairs, you open up the door. You're gonna swing this door all the way 180 degrees open. There's a magnet that latches it against the wall here, and then there's a lever. You're gonna pull this lever like this, it unlocks it, and then you can swing it down. One thing I wanna go over is each leg is independently adjustable, and to do that, you're gonna pull this little pin out right here, and we can raise and lower each leg. That's really important for a few things. First of all, it allows your legs to be level when you're parked if you're not on level ground. Also, as you put this down here, this part's gonna cover this area right here. You need to have this flush. Otherwise, when you go to close this door, if that's not flush and it's up like this, and you go to close this, it's gonna bend or break your door. So just make sure it's all the way level there. Also, it makes sure that way when you're getting in and out, your stairs are also level for coming in and out. Now, to close it, all you do is you're gonna reverse the process. You're gonna lift it up like this, it swings. Make sure this door is all the way open like we talked about. If not, this little latch right here will catch the door and it could damage it as well. You just wanna make sure you get it up out of the way, pull the lever, push it past, lock it into place. Then you're gonna swing your door shut just like this. It latches. Now this right here is actually a safety rail for when you go inside the RV, when your stairs are out. Also, when you're traveling, you wanna lift it up, swing it around, so it covers the door area. That way, if for some random reason the door pops open on you while you're driving, it locks it in place and it won't come open completely. Now, as we come around, you have a couple electrical outlets out here. You also have another large storage area. This is good for putting some more gear, some camping chairs, all that kind of stuff into here. In the back, we have our spare tire. Just a reminder, trailers don't come with jacks for changing tires. You would use the tow vehicle jack, like your truck jack, to change the tire on the trailer. Now, as we come around to the back side, there's some things over here. We have our electric stabilizer jacks. There's a button right here that says extend and retract. So to extend them, you'll hit the extend button. They come down. Sometimes they come down independently, like one will come down first, it'll hit the ground, then the other one comes down and it hits the ground. Sometimes they don't come down like this. Sometimes they come one and then the other comes down. And then just also remember, same thing when you put them up, maybe one side will come up and then the other side will follow. So just make sure before you leave your campground, you look underneath the RV and make sure all your jacks are up out of the way. Last thing you want to do is pull away and scrape and bend and break your jacks because they are pretty expensive to replace. So we always recommend just right before you leave camp again, get out, walk around, look underneath the RV, make sure everything is out of the way. Now we're going to talk about dumping. Now on this trailer, there's one dump area right here. There's a gray valve and a black valve. The gray valve is for like the shower water and things like that, the sink water, and then the black is for the sewage. So to do these, there's two levers. There's a black handle here and a black handle there. The black one on the right is for the sewer. You'll pull that open, the sewer water will come out and at the dump station and go into the ground. Now, to help that process, there's a black tank flush right here. So you can hook the hose onto this and flush out the tank while you're dumping it. You always want to put some water through it when you're dumping. Just a couple things. Make sure that the black valve is always open if you're adding water. The last thing you want to do is backfill the toilet into the RV because you didn't have the valve open. So make sure anytime you're pushing water through here, that black handle is open. When you're done, turn off your water. It'll continue to drain out. Once it's all drained, you're going to close the black valve and then you're going to open the gray valve. The gray valve is all that shower water and sink water, and it'll kind of flush out the sewer hose for you and help clean that out. So once again, do the black one first, followed by the gray one. Now we're gonna go on to power. Right here is your power connect. There's a 30 amp cable in the RV. You're gonna plug it on here. It's like a big extension cord. You're gonna plug it here, and then the other side is gonna go into your generator or into the pedestal at the park that you're staying at. Now, a couple things, if you plug in at a park and there's no power inside the RV, we've learned that 99% of the time, there is a breaker on the panel at the park. A lot of times they're not switched on. So before you worry about the trailer not working or something, double check all the pedestal power to make sure the power at the park is working properly. 99% of the time, something's wrong with the pedestal. So just remember that. Anyways, moving on, you have your city water connect here. This is for putting city water or park water through the RV. We don't recommend that method. We actually recommend you fill up the tank right here, and then anytime you're using, you just turn on the water pump inside the RV. What can happen with this city water connection is that the water pressure at the park or wherever you're at is too much for the RV to handle, and it'll blow out the water lines and cause flooding or leaking inside the RV. So, and if you did want to use this, we always recommend anytime you're not using it, you got to come out of the RV, turn off your water. Anytime you want to use the water, come outside, turn the spigot on again, off again, on again. It can get, like I said, we just recommend you always just use the pump. It's already the right pressure, all that kind of stuff. So that's just a couple things for you to think about. The fittings in an RV are not like solid like your house. They're just plastic fittings that stick together. Water pressure can blow them out pretty easy. So, and the last thing you want to do is go hiking for the day or something like that, and you come back to a flooded trailer. One other thing with that is the same thing with the pump. If you're not inside the RV using it, turn it off. You don't want to go hiking and then you realize you do have a water leak and the pump just keeps pumping water into the trailer, leaking water everywhere. A couple things there. We'll move on. I think you guys get the point. So as we come around, there's an exhaust right here. There's also another exhaust right here. These guys can get warm. You don't want to lean any gear against the trailer. They can get hot or have kids touching that. Also, one thing we've learned is don't lean any gear against the trailer, because although you might not feel it anytime you're walking inside the RV, it wobbles a little bit. And if you have gear leaning against here, it'll tear through these stickers and you won't even realize it. By the end of the weekend, you got a divot in the side of your RV from scraping. So anyways, lastly, on the front, we have one more stabilizer jack system here. Like I said, it does both legs at once. Sometimes they come down one, then the other. Just remember, prior to leaving the campsite, you retract those, make sure they're completely up out of the way. So when you pull away, it doesn't bend or break any of them. Lastly, this door right here is the pass-through from the storage area. You can reach it on both sides like we talked about before. Now let's head on inside and talk about how to use the RV inside. All right, guys, we're gonna go over the interior and show you how to use it. First of all, you have some switches right here. This is for your awning to extend and retract it. The next one over is for the awning light. And then this one is the main interior light switch. So if you reach up and try to turn on a light, because they also have light switches, if you try to do this and it doesn't come on, make sure the main switch is turned on. Otherwise, they won't come on. Also, this has a couple nightstands next to the bed here. What's really nice about those is they have a little charging station right next to each nightstand, so you can put your phone. It's a wireless charger right here on top of that, which is nice. And then you do have a nice curtain here just to close off the space if you need to. This is a nice sofa area, or it can also convert into a bed. To do that, all you do is you kind of reach up, you pull, and then push this part down. Makes a nice little sleeping area. And then to reverse it, you pick it up and you kind of push it back in, kind of downwards, and it'll go back into the sofa setup. Now, a couple other things here. You have your burner, your cooktop. Just remember, this glass is not a glass top for cooking. You're actually going to lift it up, you're going to push it, put it back up like this, and now this becomes the backsplash for your 3 burners here. That's really nice. And then obviously when you're traveling and everything, make sure it's down and locked into place. This is another, the sofa is actually another sleeping area as well. There are 2 legs that you just lift the tabletop up and off, and then you remove the 2 legs. And then you actually put this tabletop right here on these bump stops. And then you take the rear 2 cushions and you put that on top of the tabletop. And this becomes a large sleeping area. You could even get an adult here or a couple kids, which is nice. You have a stereo system. And then as we come around, we also have a nice refrigerator. Now to operate these are electric. So they are going to run off the battery power. There's an on switch right here. You'll turn that on. And then they don't take as long as the old gas ones do to cool down. They take a little while, but maybe an hour or 2 compared to 4 or 5 hours or longer for the gas ones. It also has a nice large freezer area with its own freezer control back there as well. So that's nice. Hopefully we never need it, but if you do, there is a breaker box right here. It's got breakers and fuses and all that. If something's not working, we always recommend first you check the GFCI outlet, which is here in the bathroom. And then secondly, we ask you to check the breakers, which would be in there. I'm gonna let you pass through here to check the bathroom out. It has a foot flush pedal for flushing. How those work, it's a 2-stage flush. So you push it down slightly and it'll fill the toilet bowl with some water. And then when you're done doing your business, you push it all the way down and it goes through. You do also have your control panel here. This is the GFCI outlet we're talking about. But you have your water pump button and your hot water electric, hot water gas. We always recommend you go off gas, and then you have some buttons here. These are your gauges. All they're gonna do is give you, we call them guides, because they kind of let you know about where the levels will be. Your tank levels, like the black, the gray, they're never 100% accurate. So you just gotta be aware of that. They can give you an idea of what's going on, but they're not 100% fill safe. Sometimes it'll read full when it's empty, or when it's empty, it might say full. So just be aware of that. And then lastly, of course, we're in Arizona, so your heater and air conditioner control is right here. The bottom one, you push it, it'll cycle through fan mode, air conditioner, and heater. And then the up and down buttons actually are your temperature controls. Also, you got a couple nice bunk beds here, and then there are some independent light switches for each bunk there. Now, this is one of the most popular floor plans ever built. So this is a great floor plan. You guys are gonna love it. We're excited to see you, and we'll see you soon.